Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
These battle scars don't look like they're fading, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Growing up I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes this day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Don't look like they're fading, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're fading, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Now if I had a voice that reached 100 million people, I'd tell them there's a reason that we're all created equal. Cause some decide to be great and some decide a sequel to an average person's life is simply what they want to be. So you make your decision, all I know is what I'm given won't define the life I lead or the way I dwell in existence. I've seen a greater image on the walls of where I'm living, and the words twisted and scripted remind me of something written. Faith is a gift that is given down to the people. If one believes it, one receives it. It's given if it is needed. Don't ever think you're trapped in a life that you never wanted. Your options are infinite, that's some mathematical logic. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers and these battle scars on my church. Not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers, these battle scars on my church.
Don't look like they're fading, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battle scars don't look like they're fading, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change. These battles.
Oh, I want to take that screen down until we actually have comments. Hello, everyone. I did promise you a show, a show this evening, and this is an old shirt I have. Look what I found on the old Give 'em L campaign. And was that a website at the time? I think it was giveeml.us. I wonder if that is still a live website. This is we got exactly the government we voted for. Again, this is an older LP shirt. Let's see if that domain is still live. So giveeml.us. Let's look that up. Give me 1 second here. I didn't even notice when I put this on today that there was giveeml.us. That's not a very graceful URL. This domain is not properly configured in our system. Yeah, so I don't think this is live anymore, but I can kind of see why not. I love the GiveML type, the messaging, but the domain's very awkward to type. And good evening, the Fidalgo Files. Now that there is at least one comment, I do stick it up. I don't like that just blank pink box. So I did promise a show today if I was able to, since there will be an LNC meeting tonight. As you all know, I've just been a mess these past few weeks, health-wise. And today, my body was like, hey, it's a good day for a migraine. So it's been a migraine day. I have felt in general better, But right here, no bueno. No bueno whatsoever. Let me do the YouTuber stuff before we get totally started. Please subscribe to this channel. I think I'm, heading towards 6,000 subscribers. I would really, really appreciate it. I know libertarians don't like that. They're not joiners, but just hit subscribe. It won't hurt you. At least not in like the non-aggression way. So please do that and give me a like if you feel like it. Also, you can follow my Twitter account. I am closing in on 20,000 followers there. Would really appreciate it. It's Karen Ann Harlos on Twitter. I have Facebook and MeWe there, but to be honest with you, I'm going to be switching this graphic out eventually because I'm rarely on Facebook. It's just way too boomer for me. And MeWe is like tumbleweeds. I'm a cowboy. On a steel horse I ride, and I'm just not that into it. And last, but certainly not least, with Bidenomics, it's getting very difficult to, now I do YouTube because I enjoy it, but also having it where it is a side income does help justify the amount of time I have to put into this. So if you could become a subscriber, I'm going to be stumbling over my words tonight from the headache. I would really appreciate it. It's patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. Haven't really been pushing it. Some of the patrons, you know, there's natural attrition, and I really do need to work on this. It would make me so happy tonight if I got an email notification saying, hey, you have a new subscriber. So you can make me happy. Patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. And of course, super chats and all that kind of stuff helps. Now, finally, we are going to get to, oh my God, it's that spider. Holy shit, Wayne. Wayne! No. I'll do my show, but I told you that spider. This is from 2 weeks ago. I'm sitting up here. I'm sitting with my legs up. I wish I could give you the camera. I don't know how I'm going to get through this show. Oh, where's it going? Wayne! Here he comes. I knew he was still here. I knew this spider was still here. He's not as big as I remember, but he's big enough. Is there any way you can bring him outside? I don't want you to kill him.
I'm going to get rid of him.
He's right there. He's right there.
Well, that's not a big spider.
This is, oh! Ah! That was big enough. It almost crawled on my foot.
That's a little itty bitty
No!
sucker. What are you talking about? I thought you told me he was like this big.
But I knew he wasn't gone. I knew it. So
I anticipated a wolf spider or something like that. This is a little bitty house spider.
I don't like it down here. I've been paranoid for 2 weeks.
Neither do I. That's why I brought a broom. I expected something that was the size of a $50.
Okay, we're going to do the show now. Oh, but I about had a heart attack. You guys know I keep looking down for this spider. It's like, you know, when you're a kid and you don't want to let your feet dangle over the side of the bed because you think there's something under the bed that's going to grab you. Like, what if one day something actually did? So, you know, I was starting to get comfortable with thinking, this spider has to be gone. It's been a couple weeks. We have a fairly large basement. It's a full basement. It's not finished. Yeah, that's the word. It's not finished. But it's pretty big. So I'm like, he's not going to hang out in this little area because I'm in a tiny corner of our basement. Whew. That was way too much excitement. I want to go to bed now. Oh, okay. Maybe I need to make that into a short. The spider scare. Wayne hearing me screaming all the way upstairs. Now we could do LP history. I'm putting my feet down, but what if that was just the scout? What if there's a whole family down here? I haven't touched anything because I'm scared to move anything because I thought the spider was going to be underneath it. Teach you. Don't invade my studio. I need to redo my hair. It's getting all patchy. Pink does not stay well, and I need a haircut. It's so frickin' bad. But my hairdresser moved out of town, and I haven't liked the last ones. The hair, you know, I used to keep my hair very much in a bob, if you remember, if you're wondering why it's all like shaggy. It's because my hairdresser's moved out of town, and I can't find another one I like. And female haircuts are so much, so I just might just let it keep growing. Random. And yeah, I lost all my cool glasses. I don't know where they're at. I'm such a hot mess right now. Okay, so where we are at is Australian group now organized. Why we are talking about an Australian group on American LP history, I don't know. Particularly when they're called Workers' Party. That usually when you see Workers' Party, you know, you think that would be all about you, but it really isn't. It's usually like newspeak for Commie Party. But let's see. Maybe the Workers' Party in Australia at this time was actually Libertarian. All right, Libertarians in the United States who believe in organized political action are not alone. Okay. It was a Libertarian Party called the Workers' Party? No wonder it's not still around. That, like, screams commie, but they weren't. Okay. Libertarians in Australia, there is a Libertarian Party of Australia now, I think, have set up an active, vocal, and eminently viable party of their own. They call it the Workers' Party. The Workers' Party. So I'm not the only one puzzled. As in, workers of the world unite? Not quite. Australian Party members answer the question, why the Workers' Party, with this response. Because the prosperity and security of any country depends upon those who work with their hands, with their minds, or with their savings to provide more production and therefore more prosperity for everyone. You can't redefine shit like that. Workers' Party, that's just too tainted, too commie. But some people would say the word libertarian is that way as well, because in Europe, libertarians pretty much anarcho-communists. It's only America where we're like hardcore capitalists, therefore we are right. Sorry, rest of the world, not sorry. I need some Mountain Dew. That spider incident was just way too much excitement for me. The development of the Workers' Party in Australia parallels the growth of the Libertarian Party in many respects. In the United States, however, there are only two major statist parties. I just love it. We used to be way cooler as libertarians, like way blunter. I know we're pretty bluntly autistic right now, but like we used to be worse. And I mean worse as in better. And I mean worse in the best possible way. To rail against. In Australia, there are many. Oh, they had their pick of the litter. These include the ruling Labour Party, that's another synonym for commie, and the Liberal Party, the two largest, plus the Australia, Country, and Democratic Labour parties. The Workers' Party does differentiate amongst these groups, describing the policies of the Labour Party as dedicated socialism, those of the Australia Party as concealed socialism, and the aims of the others as watered-down delayed action socialism. So the libertarians in Australia were just as saucy as us. Some differences. The Workers' Party has developed and published a platform and constitution very similar in form and substance to that put out by the LP in the United States. Page 1 explains the fundamental principle of the Workers' Party. The aim of this party is simple. It is to implement one fundamental moral, but it says morale, principle, and to implement that principle fully and consistently. The fundamental principle is that of non-interference. Boy, libertarians in Australia were the king of saying something that could be said in 6 words in 610,000 million and two. Platform positions. The platform is detailed and explicit in its stated policies, and many of its subjects mentioned are reflective of the pervasiveness of government control in Australia. In addition to outlining libertarian beliefs regarding property rights, crime, and economic freedom, the platform includes coverage of such topics as penal institutions, health, children's rights, and investment by foreign and multinational companies. Another specific section deals with Aboriginal Australians and advocates that land currently held in trust by various governments be returned to the Aboriginal Australians with full property rights, including the ownership of minerals below the ground. The Workers' Party has managed to generate controversy and consternation. That's my goal in life. I want to generate consternation. I think I've succeeded at that goal. I think I have succeeded exceedingly at the goal of creating consternation. They're very concerned. People are very concerned. Okay. Among rival parties and political observers. Representatives, I see Casey Jones. Is Point Break a good movie? I don't even know what that is. I mean, I know what movies are. I've heard of them. Ever since the LP, like, I know such things as life exists, but I'm not a participant in such things. Let me tell you, I left. You want to know what I was doing immediately before this show? I was preparing minutes. You want to know what I'm going to be doing immediately after the show? Finishing those minutes. And I just realized there's a set I completely forgot about, because it was just like a really short executive committee meeting. Yes, this is a rabbit trail. Deal with it. But so I'm right now doing the executive committee meetings from August 14th. I just realized we had an executive committee meeting on August 3rd to approve funding for North Dakota ballot access. And I got a little too delete happy with video files on my computer, and I just realized that I never did minutes for that. Now, they won't be long. It was a short meeting, but still. What is consternation? Oh, what's a good definition of consternation? It is like causing people to be concerned in an agitated manner. Let's look up I'm not good at defining words. I like in my gut know what they mean, but let's look up the dictionary definition of consternation. And we'll see how close I got. What is consternation? It's like troubled concern, I would say. Okay. Oh, here it is. Dictionary.com, or is it? Well, whatever. It's the one that came up first on Google. It says consternation, feelings of anxiety or dismay, typically at something unexpected. Okay, let's see. It's amazement or dismay that hinders or throws into confusion. Ah, right here, another one. A feeling of strong annoyance. Okay. I was good. I was close. I had my own way. As I do. I had my own way. All right. Where were we at? The Workers' Party with their generation of consternation. Representatives of the party were featured last February on a television program titled Monday Conference Broadcast during prime time by the Australian Broadcasting Commission, the state-operated broadcasting monopoly. That is so weird to us in the U.S. I know, like in Britain, with the BBC, like that's so common, but to have state-controlled media. Now, we do have state-controlled media, but they pretend like they're not state-controlled. At least we do the pretend. Maybe it's better not to pretend, I guess. A reading of the transcript. Just even saying that sentence gives me warm fuzzies because of the transcript we got on Monday. But anyway, this is a transcript from the 70s of a TV show, not a court hearing. A reading of the transcript of this hour-long program makes it obvious that the party representatives, Chairman John Singleton and party member Robert Howard, are able to articulate and defend the libertarian position with a high degree of skill and courage. A sample from the transcript. I like the way this transcript says, Lady Questioner. Lady Questioner. I'm a public servant, and you call yourself the Workers' Party. What do you have to offer the worker? Singleton. Well, I think most public servants are non-workers. Based! The kids call him based. Singleton does not pull his punches. He continued, the reason we chose the name Workers' Party was to hammer home to people the fact that the Labor Party exists not for the worker, but for the non-worker, the person who wants to live on handouts and kick-me-downs. Singleton then asked his questioner how many public servants she worked with who really earned their money. The lady was not heard from again. Uh-oh, that sounds ominous. I mean, that doesn't sound like... That doesn't sound good. That sounds like somebody better go be checking the Outback. The Workers' Party has hired a national director and is rapidly gaining adherents and branches in states throughout Australia. Do they call them states in Australia? I did not know that. Trendlin, no, I would not consider running for president. Actually, I should never say never for anything, but yeah, that's not something that's currently on this pink-haired person's bingo card. But also, becoming a pink-haired secretary of a political party who's also an anarchist was not on my bingo card 10 years ago. So I've learned to never say never. Let's just put it that way, but that is definitely not something on my radar. And Wayne is upstairs going, please, God, don't give her any ideas. Please, like, we're supposed to be entering our golden years. And I'm married to a domestic extremist. Oh my God. Wayne, when he met me, I was just this quiet Christian girl. Okay. Non-political. Never went anywhere or did anything. Oh my goodness. Where were we at now? So they have states in Australia. In the few short months of its organized existence, it has proved to be not only feisty and fascinating. I like that too. I want to be feisty, fascinating, and causing consternation. But also a serious threat to the status quo. The Workers' Party is presently assisting in the organization of similar groups in New Zealand and parts of the United Kingdom. Well, that obviously didn't last since I'd never heard of them before, and that's because they picked a crappy name. Alrighty. Because this is the last show on July, August, I'm picking what the last thing is we're going to cover. So let's see here. Let's just do the world news notes for libertarians, and that's what we will conclude on, because when I come back, because remember, tomorrow night, LNC meeting, Thursday, maybe there'll be a show. And then, is Thursday the 31st? Yeah, so maybe there will be another show, but I doubt it. I doubt it, so we're going to pretend like tonight's the last one. And then I'm going on a camping trip, so I won't see you guys till Monday. All right, special delivery. Postal union officials said government agreement on a new contract would have to be reached by June 30th in order to be a July 20th strike deadline. Big business socialism. I'm viewed as a dangerous socialist and at the same time as a bailer out of the military-industrial complex. That's the revealing account that Felix, no way I'm going to pronounce this name, Rohatyn, gives of his image on Wall Street. Rohatyn, an investment banker with Lazard for whatever, is the finance chairman of the Municipal Assistance Corporation, the new agency set up to refinance the municipal debt of floundering New York City. Among Rohatyn's similar accomplishments, negotiating the refinancing of Lockheed aircraft, advising presidential candidate Henry Jackson to support a revived Reconstruction Finance Corporation to subsidize bankrupt big business generally, suggesting that the federal government back up all municipal bonds, and suggesting federal assumption of all welfare payments. It's funny, just mentioning New York here. So I get on these weird YouTube kicks, not my own. Like, I watch a lot of YouTube. I don't watch TV at all. All I watch is YouTube. So, and y'all know I'm a big well, some of you know. I'm like really into history. Well, you know that obviously from this, but also like architecture, really into architecture. So I was watching this special on the Flatiron Building and the history of the Flatiron Building. Do you know it's mostly empty now? And like in danger? Like, even though it's like marked as a landmark, historical landmark, maybe like they're kind of getting worried that it might face demolition. Can you imagine? The Flatiron Building. You can't do that. But, you know, private property, I guess. But still, empty. Because the rents are too damn high. So I guess it's better to have an empty building. I don't know. It was just really, really bizarre to me. I forgot what the channel was, or I'd tell you to go watch it. But probably if you did a search for empty Flatiron Building, you'd find it. Alrighty, where were we? Constitutional government. After Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's constitutional proclamation of a state of emergency and subsequent parliamentary approval of the proclamation, her opposition's suggestion that government employees ought not to obey unjust orders was pretty much a dead letter. 4,000 members of the opposition were in jail. Of course, much of this had been seen before on a smaller scale, when in previous decades the New Delhi government had seized control of provincial governments. Everyone has his own favorite comment on this situation, but our favorite is a comment by Prime Minister herself. I have always been against press censorship of any sort, but some newspapers in the recent past have been spreading and writing all sorts of stories. That reminds me of a review, and I think it was of The Good Earth, which is a book I really, really love. Curious if anyone else here has read The Good Earth. It was required reading in high school, and I really liked it. But I was reading a review on Amazon of it. I don't even know if that review is still up, and it was like, this book is terrible. It's just a bunch of words put together. I'm like, that's what all books are, isn't it? Okay. Age of Aquarius. In Camarillo, California, a church group persuaded the city council to invoke a long-dormant ordinance prohibiting the practice or study of astrology and other methods of divination. Jackie, don't go there. Within the city limits, the town's mayor had this scrambled analysis to offer. The government should not be intruding in people's personal lives, but there should be an ordinance which would prohibit businesses that might harm local residents. Yep, Pearl S. Buck wrote The Good Earth. I love The Good Earth. Also, during that same period of time that I read The Good Earth, which again is a great book if you're looking for classics, really started getting into James Michener, which shouldn't surprise anyone with my love of history because he does historical fiction. He does it really, really well. But if you're really into like the history and you want to read some really good historical fiction for the Fertile Crescent area, James Michener's book, The Source, is so good. I guess this is just book recommendation hour. So, any other Michener fans in the house? Hey. Bastion of the Free World. The government of South Korea plans to raise the penalty for the smoking or selling of foreign cigarettes. Officials in Seoul say the new maximum penalty would be 10 years in jail, holy crap, or a $10,000 fine. Well, we already know in New York, you can get murdered for selling unlicensed cigarettes, so maybe I shouldn't be so surprised. Cigarette manufacture and sales are a government monopoly in South Korea, and foreign cigarettes are banned. The current maximum fine is $104, which is a lot of money for that time. A little good news. In its first interpretation of the provision of California's Constitution upholding the right to privacy, The state Supreme Court has ruled that police should not pose as students merely to compile intelligence reports on college professors and actual students, but the court made the usual exception for cases supposedly involving compelling state interest. God, I hate that phrase. A federal district judge in Los Angeles has ruled that drug-sniffing dogs cannot be taken onto private property unless, once again a familiar exception, a court issues a warrant upon probable cause. Okay, just kind of scanning through here to see what else we're going to cover, because we are coming up on the half-hour mark, which I try to keep these shows at. And crazy story, if you guys haven't been watching, about that totally like Chad kid in Colorado Springs who's just owning this charter school, who like told him he couldn't have a Gadsden flag on his backpack. So that's a developing story. So I am watching that, but that kid is a badass. Okay, last thing. This headline just grabbed my eye. Computers and cow pies. That's not two things you usually see put together in a headline. So let's see. Recent news reveals that massive computerized networks of private information have been proposed by the FBI, yawn, and yawn is in there, and the Department of Agriculture, exclamation point. It's a weird sentence. Each would serve the same purpose: to make available to authorities personal information on thousands of private citizens. The agricultural network would furnish financial statements of farmers and agricultural companies. So not quite as exciting as the headline seemed to suggest, but like today, that's like blasé, you know, oh, the government's got all kinds of computerized information on us? Yeah. Okay, well, that is it for this evening. And actually, I've got to confirm with this guest, but I might have a special guest on. Like, I can't really say anymore because, like, barely talked about it. But anyway, with just an interesting a story of a life event that turned them into more of a libertarian direction, and now obviously quite a hardcore libertarian. But that will be it for this evening. Let me do my last pitch for my Patreon. Please make me happy tonight. Patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. All right. Come to the LNC meeting tomorrow. If you want, what's even on? Lots of reports. The agenda's posted. It's on lp.org. And yeah, maybe I'll see you Thursday. I hope you have an awesome night. Bye-bye.
Given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business, not because they want to